Over 7 years, GT Academy has taken the best gamers from around the world and transformed them into professional racing drivers. Winners have gone from virtual to reality, competing around the globe, winning podiums and racing in the top class of the biggest races on the planet. The Racing Experiment has gone on to be the most innovative driver development program in the world and has embraced gamers from over 30 countries globally, producing more winners than ever. But there have been errors, crashes and failures. For every podium, there have been retirements. Not every winner at GT Academy has made the grade. So this year, to make sure they succeed, we follow the team as GT Academy goes back to basics. 56 of the fastest gamers from around Europe have come to Abu Dhabi to compete a GT Academy race camp. They're battling it out for the chance of winning the prize of a professional racing contract. In this episode, we find out how the virtual and real worlds of racing come together.
So we've been scouring the various countries to find the fastest gamers from each region. We've got 56 competitors with us. We've got to get that down to 1, and we've got 8 days in which to do it.
We have some of the best gamers from around the world. The goal never changes. We're still going to find the best driver we possibly can.
Each region is mentored by a professional racing driver. Their job's to nurture and develop the skill of the gamers, but they'll also be assessing their abilities. The gamers meet their mentors for the first time and have the chance to show them what they're capable of on the track in the virtual world.
You can see already how focused they are, of course. And I saw some guys who are a little bit young, still making mistakes, but they can learn, and that's why I'm here.
Meeting my mentor is quite a great experience. Everyone knows him, and to stand in front of him now is quite amazing.
I see Daniel, he's a hero.
It's hard to define a driver by watching it on a simulator, but you know, it gives us tips. What we have to observe is their driving style, if they're aggressive, if they are smooth, if they anticipate corners, how they react.
You can already see which of them is really fast on Gran Turismo, and it can be related to their real speed, so it's already quite important.
Obviously they're all very, very good gamers, but there's a difference between virtual and reality. You can find one which is very good at that switch, and that's what we're going to be doing this week, is hopefully finding another virtual star and turn them into a reality star.
The contestants have shown what they can do on the game. Now they have the chance to show the mentors what abilities they have in a real car. But their first go on real wheels has a twist.
These cars have been fitted with solid plastic rear wheels, so it means that the guys have to contend with a huge difference in grip levels from the front of the car to the rear. So the car will turn in rather well, but as you can see, if the car's not perfectly straight under braking, or if they're a little bit too quick into the corner, they'll simply lose the rear end.
For them, it's the first experience out of the PlayStation. Now it's the first experience drifting, G-forces.
Trying to control oversteer in any car is great fun. So hopefully they're taking it seriously, because there's an awful lot at stake. No one's going to be eliminated on the back of this challenge, but it gives us a little bit of an insight into what understanding they have of vehicle dynamics.
I've never done drifting before, so I was going to see. I'm quite curious to see how I get on, but I'm pretty sure my car control's all right.
Melvin, you're up next, mate. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, this challenge, there's a lot of different techniques being shown. It looks good fun. It maybe might justify my hooliganism sometimes in car parks. Don't tell my parents.
We have to learn that the virtual world is now over. But there are some guys where you see the respect from the other guys when they play. Oh, he's not a fast guy, not a fast guy. But it changes very, very, very quickly when it comes to the road.
The mentors now have some idea of the gamer's basic car control skills, but it's on the racetrack during coaching sessions that the contestants can use what they've learned on Gran Turismo to help their on-track development.
It's the first time that the guys have been able to drive on the Southern Circuit here in Abu Dhabi. Very important driver training. The instructors are working very much with their technique to make them better drivers.
The contestants using racing lines they've learned in the virtual world on the real racetrack, but some bad habits from the game need to be corrected by the coaches.
You have to start braking harder earlier.
Okay. Coming from a gaming background, they generally all make the same mistake. They try and brake too late, and they always try and get on the power too early.
A little bit too fast.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a trait that we've seen in pretty much every gamer that we've worked with, and these guys are no different.
We try to coach as we go around. We'll give them tips and advice. More often than not, it can be entry speed to a corner and actually the point at which they apply the throttle in the corner. The lines they usually tend to pick up quite quickly.
So each of the competitors is getting several runs with some V-Box telemetry analysis between each run. So, you know, after each run, we hope to see some improvement, and so far we're seeing lots of improvement from the guys.
Contestants are improving their skills on the track, but one area the virtual world can't help them with is fitness.
Obviously, fitness and reaction times are important for any racing driver, but it's something that we can improve if the winner isn't necessarily the fittest or has the fastest reactions. It's something that we can develop through the driver development program, but a basic level is obviously important.
So this is the Nismo Lab in-body machine, and it's a body composition meter. It's a glorified weigh scale, as you might well say. Uses electrical impulses, sends it through your body to calculate your body fat percentage primarily, and also your muscle mass and how that's distributed through your body.
My level is okay. I have a little bit too much muscles, he said, but I think that's not such a big problem, so I'm happy with my results.
With the muscle, this machine also allows you to see where the muscle is distributed through your body. So, you know, for a racing driver, we'd want to see a fairly even distribution of muscle. We wouldn't want to see some guy with, you know, particularly large sort of arms or extremely large legs, but rather an even distribution. And this machine can tell us all of that. So it's a great starting point. Great, yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you.
The machine says the body is very strong, a little more fat, and a little. I should work getting a little less fat, and it's perfect.
There is a potential that these guys could be pretty unhealthy, but still be good at the game, of course. You know, those two lifestyles don't necessarily go hand in hand. So, you know, some of these guys will have to make an effort to improve their health and become healthier specimens. Thank you very much.
During race camp, the contestants face a head-to-head elimination challenge, the Bridge Street Race. This test will combine their racing lines learned in the virtual world and car control skills they've learned over the duration of race camp.
It's like a video game. It's all about the driving technique. You really need to have skills to go through this because it's really tight.
They'll be taking on the challenge in a car that they've never driven before.
Yeah, so their first time with the GTR. A lot more power, four-wheel drive, better brakes, more weight. So to adapt really quickly to this type of car, it's not easy.
I'm so excited about accelerations and the braking. I think it will be amazing.
I don't think they've been on a car like this before. They are like little kids with a new toy, you know?
It's incredible. It's our animal.
The bridge is made up of two identical tracks with a range of obstacles the drivers must contend with. The first driver across the line will be safe from elimination.
This is about driving abilities. I mean, if they hit the barriers, they crash the car for real. If they smash into the wall and fall in the water, there is no reset button.
You need to know where to position the car. Obviously, it's really tight, so the guys need to have a really good feeling of the car, of the brakes, of the throttle, because if they make any mistake, they're out, you know? There is a big chance or big possibility to crash into the wall.
I think the most important thing about this track is not overdriving it. In the chicanes, you know, you really got to be smooth and not understeer the car. That's the key.
Oh. The thing is that there's different sections. First, it's a nice slalom, easy. No! Then there is a fast part, you know, that you need to have good control of the car. And then the last bit, you need to decide, okay? So the head plays a big character on it, so you need to be really quick reaction and choose if you like to get in quicker or get out quicker.
If you make a mistake, you're out, you're really out. And to be honest, that's what we are looking for. People who don't make mistakes.
After two previous elimination challenges, the Wadi Survival Race and the Drag Race Challenge, there are now only 14 members from each region. In this challenge, they'll be taking on the competitors in their team in 2 head-to-head races. The losers of each race must drive again in one final race for their survival. Last past the finish line goes home.
This is all about real skills, all about handling the pressure.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, because if we lost here, we are going back to our country.
They need to learn quickly, because if they don't, they're gone.
There are no second chances for the losers as their dream of becoming a racing driver comes to an end. In the penultimate challenge of Race Camp, the 2 remaining gamers of each nation will return to their roots and see if what they've learned in the real world can transfer back into the virtual.
We've obviously taken them from the virtual world to the real world. We're flipping the coin back to the virtual world. We're going to see if any of the training that they've enjoyed this week they can put into practice around Silverstone. So yeah, mixing it up.
Some of the stuff that we've learned in the real world is going to transfer back into the virtual world, especially some of the later apexes that we've been having to take on the circuit. Keeping the momentum going is going to come into play here, I'd say.
Yeah, I definitely think what we've helped them develop over the past week will pay dividends this evening. I think they're mentally stronger, so they won't be panicking so much. 99% of them hadn't actually ever been around a track and a race car, so I don't think they had that understanding. They just knew it through the game, and now they have that real life element to it, and that must help them when it comes to the gaming this evening.
Each nation will go head-to-head in a race over 6 laps. Just like endurance racing, the 2 gamers must work as a team and switch drivers during the race. They'll also face the pressure of a crowd watching and cheering them on. The grid for the final race of the GT Academy is decided by the finishing positions of this virtual race, so the stakes couldn't be higher. Team UK finishes in first, leaving the driver who makes it to the final on the front row of the grid in the final race.
Never had that feeling, but yeah, it feels great, I can tell you that now. Whoever is obviously lucky enough to be in a final tomorrow, to be starting P1 is just crazy.
That went amazingly. I've just had the biggest adrenaline rush from my two boys, shall I say, winning the race.
The gamers who have made it this far in the competition have shown they have an exceptional level of driving ability in both the virtual and real world. Next week, we examine how contestants are tested mentally and psychologically to the limit.